Generation Z, yes, Gen Z, no, not the zombies, but the age of people is not impressed by Tesla cars, and that should worry Elon Musk. That is, if you believe everything they say over at Business Insider, but we know from drinking enough of the Bin Cider that it just isn't always the case. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. How are you, Randy?
I'm not that impressed with Gen Z either.
Well, I know enough of them that I am.
Oh, okay. You have some in the family.
Oh, sure. I've got children that age. All of them are that age.
I have grandchildren that age, and they're impressive.
Yes. So let's get into this because it is, wow, it is something. I don't know if you know this, but Gen Z isn't impressed. Do you know what age Gen Z is?
Yeah, let's see. Is that 24 to 0 or
12 to 27.
Oh, 12 to 27. Oh, I think my he's 28 now. Okay. So my youngest son is 28. So I didn't think he was Gen Z. All right, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, he's a millennial. So It's interesting because when I got my Model Y, it was already the best-selling car in the world.
Yeah.
And the only people who have ever been impressed by my car are 12 to 27-year-olds. To everyone else, it's just a car.
Yes, right.
And I get that. I'm under no illusion that I'm driving a Lamborghini. No, it's those are the only people impressed. So where is the Bin Cider fermenting? Let's take a look. Tesla's appeal among Gen Z is waning. A survey of Morgan Stanley interns found.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. The interns at Morgan Stanley preferred Mercedes and BMW.
And only by a little bit more than they did last survey. It was hardly any.
It's so dumb. Well, yeah, you're surveying. There's so much selection bias here. Who would intern at Morgan Stanley? When you tell me that you really, really, really want to work at Morgan Stanley, so much so that you'll do it for free or almost free, I just picture you driving a BMW.
Yeah.
That is, dwindling interest is a troubling sign for Tesla, which is already struggling to sell cars amid increasing competition. Deliveries fell in July for the second straight quarter. Did they? Because the Q2 was bigger than Q1.
Yes.
So
yes,
what they're saying is these are not record quarters anymore.
Yes.
And that's true. Hey, can we look back at GM's record quarters and record market share? Okay. The Director of Insights at Edmunds told Business Insider that declining interest may be due to the product being the problem, not due to the product being the problem so much as the personality associated with it. Well, that would be true if you were surveying Business Insider interns, because they definitely, I assume, it's a question on the interview is, do you hate Elon? Because if you do, boy, are you going to be comfortable here.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's quite it. Clashing with the Prime Minister, multiple lawsuits. Hey, have you ever heard of a large company without?
No, and I've never heard of a large company this large with so many lawsuits coming from folks who might have a what do you call
axe to grind?
An axe to grind that has nothing to do with their business. Might be an outside reason for attacking the company.
Oh my gosh. Well, good news. They don't completely misunderstand the company. Oh, wait, when you copy and paste over and over again, and then you have freshens, Randy, or redesigns that aren't bringing anything meaningful to the table, you're going to lose market share. Copy and paste over and over again. What are you talking about? I would say that they've copied and pasted where it matters. If you look at the electronics for the FSD computer in a Model 3, it says right on it Model 3. And if you look at the Model Y, it says right on it Model 3. And if you look at the S or X, it says Model 3 because the part works. Let's not replace the part. Let's not make bespoke stuff for each car. It doesn't. But
I did see it, and I did see a chart this morning for Europe. Model Y was the number one selling EV in Europe. The Model 3 was the second best selling model car in Europe so far this year, continuing in that place. Yeah.
Well, I've seen people on X who clearly know everything. They know everything, Randy. You know that they know everything. Have told me that Tesla sales are dying. And I said, well, the Y is still the best selling car in the world. So I'm not sure who told you that. But as I say frequently in the comments section of my YouTube channel, which is where you are probably watching this, whoever convinced you of that must not have a very high opinion of you, because I have a high opinion of you, dear viewer, which is why the truly bonkers comments, the very outdated FUD comments we get, do not generally go unanswered on my channel. And sometimes the responses are less friendly than I would be. By the way, fun fact, I did get a pop-up the other day on YouTube saying, your comment was removed for possible hate speech or violence. And I was like, what? Which comment? And they're like, well, we're not going to tell you. Just don't do that again. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't comment on like anybody's channel except my own. And I leave every comment well in mind that my audience will read it. What are you talking? They said, well, just so you know, if this continues happening, you may lose the ability to comment on your own channel and your channel may be removed. And I'm thinking, somebody coordinated a strike, I bet.
Wow.
Or somebody used 9 accounts of their own to report a comment because I said something like the thing I just said. So, of course, I reached out to YouTube, and there is no reaching out to YouTube. That's not a thing, which is one of the many reasons YouTube is the devil. So looking at this, respondents in 9 major countries. I didn't know that was new information to you, Randy, but it's important that you know.
Yes.
Respondents in 9 major countries said the top reason was the lack of charging infrastructure, including lack of at-home charging and limited driving distance. Bizzin Cider previously reported. So that's for all EVs. Yeah, the EV doesn't allow me to live my life with some level of ease. It's just not, if that's the case, it's just not an option.
So guys, Brian, we have talked about this before. And I do admit to having some significant concern about the home charging problem. And this would be in particular for the Gen Zs, okay, because they don't own a home yet. They're probably not renting a single family dwelling. They're probably renting an apartment. And so they are potentially not going to have any kind of way to charge in their garage, or maybe they don't even have a garage or a parking structure associated with their apartment. All over the world, this is a potential issue, but in particular in the United States. And so I could see where a Gen Zer could, 16, 18, 19 years old, they're like, yeah, I love these Teslas, man. They're really, really cool. Now they're 22, 23. They can afford a used one, or they maybe can afford a new one because they're a professional. They can afford a new one. But then they look around, they're like, where am I going to charge this thing? I don't want to drive down to the charging thing every day and pay the price. So it becomes less of a cool thing, because all buying decisions are marginal decisions. I don't know if people know this. Everything can be a hair split between the decision yes and the decision no, and you put all those hair splits together, and you could have a 5% lower volume than you would otherwise if that problem was not there. And this could be a significant issue. I don't know if Tesla themselves are addressing it yet, trying to find way. I know that there's things people can do to get them set up in apartments, but I don't know if Tesla's made the kind of energetic effort proactively that they did for this overall charging network to get the apartments taken care of.
I think the problem is that apartments are hesitant. there's going to have to be some kind of push. The residents are definitely hesitant to get involved because how long do you stay at a given apartment? A year or two? Well, that's how long it's going to take to install it in the first place. And by the time it's done, I'm somewhere else. And then I got to start the process all over. Very frustrating. I did want to point out that this was written by Juarez Yip, which I am sure is a real name. And let's look at some of the greatest hits here. We've got this one, of course. Meet the Henry Ford family inside the lives of this legendary automobile dynasty. Oh wow. That's neat. Tesla, Schwab, and now Chevron. So this kind of pro Texas, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's not a channel with overwhelming negative stuff about Tesla, but plenty. Tesla isn't done raising prices from June regarding the S and X discounts having been essentially reversed. And I think there was one other here, the members of the PayPal mafia include these people. Here's where they are now. Because, in case you don't know, which is Tesla factory manager tells workers to please stop stealing coffee mugs. I don't think that's where the 10,000 mugs went. This Model 3 variant is back after 5 years. That's pretty neutral. So it's not that this is just a bad writer or a lazy writer, though all those things are possible. It's that this particular article is so devoid of any context that would explain what's going on. When you see a number, when you see a results that make you think, wow, that's pretty out there, you need to ask why. And when the answer is right in your face, I've got a bunch of words to describe what I imagine someone who would intern at Morgan Stanley would be. But those are words that I don't think I should say out loud. They all feel like Charlie Sheen in Wall Street.
I see.
In Wall Street?
Oh, I don't know.
The movie Wall Street.
This could
Whoever was,
you're going to get the platform for this.
Not for that.
This
not
is
for that.
racist bigotry.
No, it is not that. Yeah.
Well, so the other question, Brian, that I raised when I first read the Morgan Stanley thing, because I usually like their analysis. Most of their analysis seems to be pretty good. Not always, but pretty good. And I was thinking to myself, why did they even do this intern polling and then put it out? And then if you're going to do the intern polling and put it out, wouldn't you at least say, here's some of kind of the demographic of it? And how many actually people? Are there 7? 12? They don't tell us how many people.
You're right. The odds of it being a statistically significant sample size is low. You can get there with 100, but I don't know if they have 100. That would be kind of a lot to wrangle. It is, I assume they do this so that they know when they hire you what to offer you as your company car. But who knows, man? Who knows? What did we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it and stay tuned and juicy and head on over to the Randy Kirk channel, see what he's up to. He had a great guest on just this week. It was me. Go check me out. And everybody else, stay tuned and juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the next one.